So here we will demonstrate the custom kalimba, how to play, tune and maintain it. I use a reference keyboard with a sine wave tone for the lowest tone we begin. Almost there. So to raise the pitch I tap it almost. It would be first place to remove the bar with the tone names. If the pitch is too high and it needs to be lowered, you can push out the tines from the back side. I use this little included accessory to push the tines. I will demonstrate with the top level of the tines, it's easier to see. So if this tone, for instance, let's take this one. So if you want to lower it, I just slightly push it back. And if I wanted to raise it, right here, I would tap it in again. I've also found that this little punch tool works very well for tuning. It has a flat end, so it has to have some mass. It's from steel. You just tap from one side to lower it, or from the front to raise the pitch. And when you're done tuning, you can reapply the bar with the tone names. Now at some point you might need to take off all the keys, perhaps to retighten the whole instrument. And you begin by removing all the keys one by one, which is not so difficult. You push them out from the back. And you store them one by one. So you push them out. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit. It's the corner of the accessory tine. And remove them. Please keep the tines in order so that's easier to reassemble. So with all the tines removed, you have the possibility to retighten the brackets, but you probably won't need to do this for many years, perhaps if you have a very rough car ride, or if the instrument starts to sound dull. So you can just simply use a Phillips head screwdriver with some good force, retighten the screws that hold the brackets down to the body. So with the brackets fastened securely and the tines organized, we are ready to reassemble the instrument. By the way, on the back of the tines there's also the note name written, so if you get them mixed up you can always sort your tines in the right order. It will help to straighten the tines before you reinsert them onto the kalimba. So in a vise you just bend the end of the tine until it is in a straight line. When it comes out, it is a little curved upwards, and you just straighten it in the vise without much force. So for mounting the tines, I use another helper piece, which is almost the width of the distance between the brackets. Now the tines, they will go over the front support, under the middle support, and then again over the support at the back, so they have to go in a curve. I apply the helper piece from the behind, so over the hind support and under the middle support. The tines go between these, the middle support and the helper bracket, and then using a hammer I will tap them into place. This will take a little force, and I'm using a block to help me, but you can do it against your body too. So you see that all the 3 tines are now over the hind support here, and when that's the case I can remove the helper piece with a pair of pliers, pull it out, and then I can roughly bring the tines already in the correct position. I first tap them in a little bit more so they won't jump out. I move the outer tines close to the brackets but without touching the brackets, and the middle piece, the middle tine in the middle, equally spaced. And I can already give them a rough tune. And later I will fine tune them when all the tines are in position. So with the bottom row of tines in its place, I will one more time show how the tines are put on the instrument for the top row. So there are 3 supports, the front support, the middle and the behind support. The tine goes over the first, under the second, and then up the hind support. For this I use again the helper tine, and the 3 tines, I use them together, that's the easiest, are put, over the first and under the second one. Now with the hammer I will hit them in place. Until all 3 are past the hind support, and then I can pull out the helper tine, and with the small tine we can position the tines roughly so that they're equal. Maybe put them up to tune already a little bit. So with all the tines in place, you want to position them a bit so that the tines are parallel and the outer ones are close to the brackets but not touching. There's a little gap, and the other ones are in the middle. Here again they are kind of divided equally. And for the tines on both sides of the brackets, you might want to like tip them a bit outward so that the tips are divided equally.